Hi, I'm Rita. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Life Worth Reading. And welcome to the end of the year book tag. I feel like I may be doing this tag a little bit too early this year, but I always leave it way too late. So this year I'm taking charge and I'm uploading this right at the beginning of October because I feel like I just need to check myself that we are down to the last couple of months of the year, which is always shocking. You don't need me to tell you that. I know that when I watch booktubers videos and it's always like, oh my god, I can't believe we're here, but truly it's kind of diabolical that another year is already ending. But with that being said, I am ready to talk about the books that I want to read and what is going to be happening now that we are at the end of the year. So let's just get straight into it. And the first question is, are there any books that you started this year that you still need to finish? And I was about to be all high and mighty saying that when I DNF books, I DNF them for real. I never start books and don't finish them. But I actually have one, and that is this nonfiction book, Why I Write and Other Essays by George Orwell. I picked this book up about maybe two and a half months ago, and I still haven't finished it. And it's not a DNF, like I want to finish this book. It's just that we have a couple of essays in here, and then the last one is this really big essay about the Lion and the Unicorn, Socialism and the English Genius, and it's like about half of the book is that essay. And I just really haven't been in the mood for this. It's very political and it's very interesting, but I just haven't been in the mood to read a 70-page essay about it. So I have left this book halfway through and I do really want to finish it, but yeah, I just really haven't been in the mood for such a long and specific political essay, but I have to get to it before the year ends. So yeah, I need to be held accountable because this still needs to be read. Then the second question is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? And I would say that I have two that I'm looking forward to reading. The first one is probably the most autumnal book, and that is The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. I bought this book during the summer. I think it was July or August. But honestly, I've been waiting for this season to read it because the colors, the vibes, it's just very autumnal. This is about our main character, Lucia, who is a maid during the Spanish Inquisition during the 16th century, and she has magical powers, which is very much not allowed unless you say that the powers are a gift from God, so like a miracle. If not, you will be put on the cross, you will be burned, and yeah. So this is about our main character who becomes kind of like a pawn for very rich and powerful people in Madrid during this time. And I know that there's a romance in it, and I've heard actually great things about the romance, which is strange because I know that Leigh Bardugo doesn't put a lot of romance in her books, but when she does, I feel like it is successful. So I'm excited to read about that as well. But overall, I just feel like this book is very autumnal. I don't know how I feel about it. There's a lot of people that felt very middle of the road about this book, so I really don't know where I'll stand, but I'm excited to give it a try, and I feel like this is be one of the books I'm reading next soon. And then we have a book that just feels a little bit colder than autumnal, but that is Lapvona by Natasha Mosfeg. And I am absolutely terrified of reading this book now because, listen, I thought that this is a book set in the Middle Ages, and it's about this little boy, like a little orphan boy who becomes bonded with the blind village midwife Ina. And I don't know, I thought it would be about religion, about life really during this time, like maybe a little bit bizarre because Natasha Mosfeg does love a bizarre plot and like a bizarre book. But Kayla just recently read this book, and I really do trust Kayla, and she said that it was absolutely disgusting, which I was not expecting because Kayla loves a lot of disgusting books. And so when she said that about Lapvona, I got so worried. I am so stressed about reading this book. I fear I'm not going to like it, especially because I've heard that it also talks about like sexual abuse of minors and sexual exploitation, which is something that I'm really, really not a fan of. Of course, no one's a fan of it. I'm not trying to say that, but I really don't like reading it in books. It's something that I really try to stray away from. But now I own it, and I really asked for this book. Like, my boyfriend gifted this book to me because I asked for it, and now I just feel bad, so I have to try it. But I'm really kind of worried about it. But it does feel very like autumnal, wintry. So we'll see what just happens when I read it. I am stressed. The third question is about new releases. Is there any book release that you're still waiting on? Not really. I'm not really much a new release kind of girly, but I will talk about two that have very recently come out. One of them is We Solve Murders by Richard Osman. He's the author of the Thursday Murder Club, which I really, really like. And I am a little bit worried about reading this book, but at the same time, I don't know, I feel like it'll just be a fun murder mystery. I really do like the way he writes his humor, the way that he writes people's relationships. So I am really excited about that one. And also, shockingly, I think I'm really falling for the marketing for this book, but I'm really into Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. Honestly, the only book that I've ever read by Sally Rooney is Beautiful War, Where Are You? I own it. And I read it, I feel like it was last summer. And at the time, I really thought it would be like a 3.5, but honestly, it's a book that really stuck to me. I didn't love the characters, but like the message, the hopefulness about this book made me really enjoy it. And because of that, I feel like I got really sucked into the marketing, and I really want to try this book, and I really want to buy this book. I haven't yet, but I really want to buy Intermezzo. I know that it's about grief, it's about two brothers, and I feel like, again, the messages that Sally Rooney will write and the way that she writes, I feel like will really entice me. I'm still not interested in reading Normal People in Conversation with Friends. I'm just not interested, but I feel like in Intermezzo, I am definitely interested in. The next question is 3 books that you still want to read before the end of the year. And I am going to be talking you through 4 books that I do want to read before the end of the year. The first one was A Gift. I've been talking about this book a little bit because, yeah, I'm just really looking forward to reading it, and that is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This was a gift, and because of that, I do want to get to it before, you know, sooner rather than later. And this also feels like a very autumnal, wintry book. It's about a woman who makes a deal with the devil, and so she becomes immortal, but the catch is that she is instantly forgotten when someone like leaves her company. And it is quite an ambitious book. It's quite a long book. I know a lot of people love this book. I haven't been the most successful with V. Schwab in the past, but I'm hopeful that this one will do it for me, and I just really hope that I enjoy it because I would love to keep it. Then we have A Burial Rites by Hannah Kent. This is a book that I thrifted earlier this year. You can see that it is a little bit used, and this is about our main character, Agnes, who in the 19th century in northern Iceland is condemned to death for murdering her lover. A family is forced to take her in, and a priest is tasked with absolving her. So I've heard a lot about this book, and I kind of bought it on impulse. I don't love this cover either, so I wouldn't be too sad about unhauling it, but since I do own it, I do want to give it a try. And yeah, it's set in northern Iceland. It's very cold. It's a very wintry book. So I'm hoping that I'll get to it before the end of the year. And I really do hope that I love it, because I do love historical fiction. And I feel like this is very interesting historical fiction. I really like the theme of this book. So I'm really hopeful that I'm going to enjoy this one. Then we have a classic, and that is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I had started this book when I was younger, and I didn't really like it at the time. I also had this like really tiny pocket edition, and I couldn't read quite well on it. And I feel like I just need, now that I'm in a new time of my life, I feel like I just need to read this book with fresh eyes and with a different perspective. And yeah, I'm just really, really excited about it. This I feel like has, yeah, this has Little Women and Good Wives, which until I bought this book, I did not know that they were two books. I feel like people only talk about Little Women. I also really love the film by the Queen of Everything, Greta Gerwig. I love the movie. So I really want to read this book this year, and I feel like I'm just going to have a great time. I'm at least going to read the first one because, so yeah, the first book is 224 pages, so I feel like I will at least try that one. And I really want this to become like a new favorite classic of mine. I would love for that to happen because I haven't read enough classics. And yeah, I just really want to try this one out. And I love this edition so much. It reminds me so much of autumn, Christmas. I'm just really excited. I feel like I'm really going to enjoy this one, and I can't wait to read it with like a new perspective. And finally, we have a book that I bought quite recently that is also very wintry, and that is The Warm Hands of Ghosts by Catherine Harden. I was indecisive if I would put this or The Bear and the Nightingale by the same author on this TBR, but honestly, The Bear and the Nightingale is the start of a new series, so I would prefer to maybe read the standalone and see where I'm at. This is about two siblings during the First World War, and they are trying to find each other. I still haven't figured out if there's magic in it, or like a little bit of a fantasy element, or if I completely made that up in my head. I still have no idea, so I'm going into it kind of blindly. I have no idea if it's just an historical fiction or if there's like a slight element of fantasy to it. But whether or not it is true, I feel like I will really enjoy this book, and I really want to try out Catherine Harden's writing and to see if she is an author for me or not. The fifth question is, do you think there is a book that could still shock you and become a favorite of the year? Honestly, I would love for Little Women to become a new favorite. I would love for any of these books to become new favorites. I feel like the one that might be Little Women. I also would like to read On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong, which I'm very late to the party of. This book has been known for the longest time, but I still haven't read it. So I would love to read it, and I feel like this could have potential to become a new favorite. But I'm not making any hard commitments. You know, if it happens, it happens, but I'm not making any hard commitments to get to this one before the year ends. And the last question is, have you started making plans? Reading plans, YouTube plans for 2025? Honestly, 2025 does not feel like a real year. I'm going to be really honest with you all. It does not feel like a real year. With that being said, in terms of video plans, I will be continuing my TBR Destruction series because I really need to. And I've been having a lot of fun with that. It's kind of like a Read It or Unhaul It challenge. I feel like this year was a year for Unhaul It or Read It or Unhaul It challenges on YouTube. And I really have been enjoying that journey with other creators. So that will definitely continue on. And I have a couple of series that I would love to start. I'm just still working out some kinks and some ideas. Like, I have the concepts, but I need to really specify them and work them out before the year starts. I would love to be one of those creators. Like, I love one of my, like, all my favorite booktubers have this really like ambitious series projects and series ideas, and I would love to be one of those people. So I'm still trying to be one of those people. We'll just have to see what kind of ideas I get and if they work out or not. We'll just have to see. Alright friends, that is it for my end of the year tag. Here we have a couple of books, a lot of books that I would still love to get to before the end of the year. Is this a little bit ambitious? Maybe, but we'll just have to see what ends up happening. But I've been having a really great year reading this year, making videos. Sometimes the views don't really reflect that, but I am on my own journey. And I have to remind myself of that more and more each day. And I love making videos even if no one watches them. So I will continue to do so. It can be a little bit disheartening, but I'm still gonna do it. And I hope that you are on your own journey as well. I hope that your reading year is going well. I hope that the next year is even better for you, for me, for all of us. And so with that being said, I don't think I have anything else to add. So if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more bookish content. And I'll see you in my next video. I hope you have a nice day, and always remember that life is worth reading.